welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing the mid-year tag. It's a little bit late, but better late than never. I wanted to do this a couple weeks ago, but life was just too busy and I had other videos I needed to edit and get up. Today is the day that we are gonna do the mid-year tag and answer some fun questions. Now I don't have the books with me because I did pack them all onto our pod, so I don't have the physical copies. I'll just put up photos up here for you guys. Let's jump right in. Hopefully this video is not too long. If you guys hear any rumbling in the background, it's because it's about to storm. The first question is best books you've read so far in 2023. It's kind of hard to choose because I think I've read about 60 to 70 books this year already, and a lot of them were really good. But the first one is Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. It is part of the Infernal Devices or Clockwork series. It takes place in Victoria, London. It's about shadow hunters, entertaining, and it's tragic. A big part of that series is the romance, the love triangle, and honestly I have never read a book where I love a love triangle. I usually hate love triangles because the second male character always gets on my nerves. This book, I was rooting for both of them. I was so heartbroken either way. You hear that? That was thunder. It shook the house a little bit. Either way, whoever she chose, I would have been happy and also heartbroken at the same time. When a book elicits that kind of emotion where you feel really strongly about these fictional characters, that really says a lot. So Clockwork Prince, the second book in the series, is one of the best books I've read so far ever, let alone 2023. The other one is Crooked Kingdom. I was debating between Six of Crows or Crooked Kingdom because I gave both of them 5 stars. Crooked Kingdom really pulled out emotions in me that I did not realize that I was gonna have. It's about criminals, but the found family that you get that develops in Six of Crows, you get so much more of in Crooked Kingdom. And oh my god, there's just so many emotions going on in that book. I was so heartbroken. I can't tell you what it is. I love when books don't blatantly say something, but you know. Like, you just know. The next question, the best sequel you've read so far in 2023. I also have 2 picks for this. First one being the Nyaxia Universe by Carissa Broadbent. It's the Nightborn duet. The first one is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I love that book. It was so fun to read. The cliffhanger in the first one was so good that I just really wanted to read the second book so fast. Like, I put down everything else and I started the second book immediately, and I was not disappointed. The second book was much better. I gave the first one a 4.5, but the second one is a 4.75. The second book was so painful to read in the best ways. I think there's something about really tragic stories that really do it for me. I just love when a book can make me feel hurt because that just means it's good writing. And that's exactly what The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King was. The next one is the Magnolia Parks universe. Magnolia Parks, I had a really fun time reading. It's about rich young adults with drama in their life and relationship problems, and I ate it up. I had a lot of fun. I loved Daisy Hates more. I've only read the first 2. I just loved the characters more. I felt more connected and I felt less angry and more hurt. I spaced these books out because they are just so draining, and also they're so good. I would feel really sad finishing them, you know? The next question is new releases you haven't read yet but want to. I have this first one, and it's Happy Place by Emily Henry. I've been dying to read this book. I just haven't had the perfect time to read it. Happy Place is definitely a priority, as well as Beach Read by Emily Henry. It's about friendship and relationships as you grow up and how people grow apart. Sounds like it's right up my alley, and I'm really excited to read it. The other one is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. This one is a Juliet Romeo retelling about 2 rival witch families. I thought that concept alone was so fun, and I want to read it so badly. I've heard that this book is very poetic, very beautifully written, and just really fun, and the cover is beautiful. I think both of these books released in April. Don't quote me on that. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have multiple, but the most anticipated, I would say, is Iron Flame. Iron Flame is the second book in the Fourth Wing series. I don't know what the series is called. It's the second book after Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And oh, guys, I loved Fourth Wing. Don't get me wrong, it is not your high fantasy, heavy politics, but I can see it going towards the politics. And I'm so excited for Iron Flame. It releases in November of this year. And the way Fourth Wing left off, I screamed. If you guys haven't watched that video, go watch my reading fantasy for a week video. I screamed at the cliffhanger because it was just so out of nowhere. Like, I was recovering from some pain 20 pages before that, and then it just gives me that one-liner cliffhanger, and I'm like, what? Like, that's how it ends? You can't... Ugh. My other one is If Only I Had Told Her, and it's the second book after If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan. This is a tragic story. I am actually currently still reading If He Had Been With Me. It's not like the one thing that makes you really sad. It's the multiple little things throughout the book that really adds up to that sadness. And in the new book, If Only I Had Told Her, is from Vinny's point of view, the male main character, and oh my god! The title alone makes me feel so... Like, I get it. I haven't even finished the first one. How do you know you're gonna want to read the second one? I don't know. But from what I know right now, I already want to know his point of view. Anyways, next question. The biggest surprise. I took this question as, oh, what book surprised you the most? Like, I didn't think I would love it as much as I actually did, which was The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is a literary fiction, and it's about two French sisters during World War II. Oh my god. Guys, this book broke me to pieces. It kind of just tells the story of these two sisters during the war, and it goes back and forth between present time and the past. And the ending, I physically sobbed. That last chapter, every single page just kept getting worse and worse in a very good way. It really tells the story about the struggles women go through during the times of war. They're not drafted into the war, but war affects them just as much back at home, and it's really eye-opening to see what people went through, especially in Europe during World War II. I had no idea how I would feel about it, but it was a book club pick and I loved it so much. I gave it a 4.75. It was a really good read. I highly recommend you guys read that book. Just make sure you look up the trigger warnings. There are sensitive topics in there. Next question, favorite author debut or new to you? The first one has to be Carissa Broadbent. Like, the Nightborn duet, so good. She has become one of my favorite authors. I have her notifications on just to see if she has any news for the next books. They're so good and they're so fast-paced. They're so fun to read. I even bought her other series, the Daughter of No World series, just because I loved the Nightborn duet so much. Didn't care what it was about, just bought it. Next is Rebecca Yarros. Yes, I will say she is one of my favorite authors just from Fourth Wing. Just because the emotions that Fourth Wing gave me and how much I am anticipating the rest of her books. I wouldn't say she is one of my favorites. I will say she is a good candidate to become one of my new favorite authors, and I've only read one book from her. The last one is Jessa Hastings. She is the author of the Magnolia Parks universe. Like, say less, right? Say less. I love the universe, and she has become one of my favorites because just the way she writes is really poetic, and I've never read a book written that kind of way before, and it's so fun to read. It's so drama filled. There are so many quotes in the Magnolia Parks universe. That's why I annotate every single one of the books. It's just because there's so much that I just want to remember and be able to go back to and be like, oh, this scene, oh, this moment. Newest fictional crush. Guys, I have a lot so far. I think I've read pretty good books this year. Six of Crows. There is no way that I would read that duet and not have a crush on Kaz Brekker. Kaz Brekker! I love him. He is one of the top book boyfriends for me. The books are not romance filled. Like, please don't watch my videos and think that Six of Crows is heavy on the romance. It is not heavy on the romance. But when you have the romance scenes like sprinkles and you get that little bit of sprinkles, it's so good. It's so good. I love Kaz Brekker. He is top tier morally gray characters. He does not give a crap about what he does and how it affects people. He just wants what he wants. He does not care about anyone but himself. And then Will Herondale and Jim Carstairs from Clockwork series, are you kidding me? The best love triangle I've ever read in a series. I love them so much. I hold them dearly to my heart. When I finished that series, after sobbing, I just could not think about anything else other than Tessa, Will, and Jem. I just could not think about anything else. Even the two guys, Will and Jem, have such an unbreakable bond with one another. Their friendship is something to really cry over. It makes it so much more tragic when they fall in love with the same girl. Jem is such a sweetheart. Will is so snarky and funny. They're so complete opposites, but they blend so well together. Will die for Tessa and Jem will die for Will and Tessa, and vice versa. Tessa would die for the both of them also, and it's so good. I literally cannot pick who I like more. I will tell you that is Will Herondale, but if you put Jem Carstairs in front of me, Huh? What? Yeah. The next is Aaron Warner from the Shatter Me series. The Shatter Me series, pretty good, pretty mid. Like, it all blurred together. I liked the concept of it. I liked the overarching plot, but the very minor things are kind of messy. The plot gets a little messy, but Aaron Warner, he never got messy. Never got messy. Another morally gray king. He is so funny without trying to be funny because he's just mean. He's just mean to everyone other than Juliet, and it's so fun. He is the perfect example of I hate everyone but her. Julian Hates. Julian Hates is the older brother of Daisy Hates from the Magnolia universe. I love him. He's so protective and just fun to read about. His dialogue is fun. He loves his sister Daisy so much. That is so sweet. I would read an entire book from his POV. The last one is Wes from Better Than the Movies. He is so perfect. He is so sweet. Oh my god. He does things in the background and he does things to, like, I don't know how to explain it. He does things in the background. He doesn't let people know that he does it, but he does it. And it's so cute. He's so funny. I love his personality. I was about to put Zayden Ryerson from Fourth Wing in it, but you know what? I like him. I do, I really like him, but I want to see how he plays out throughout the rest of the series before I really put him in that category. A book that made you cry. Like I said, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King from the Nightboard duet made me cry. It made me sob at the end. No, not even just the end. Throughout the book, there are so many sad moments that I teared up multiple times, and then at the end, I cried. Yes, that did happen. Clockwork Princess, tragic. That third book, oh my, it rips your heart out, stomps on it, and then Cassandra Clare is like, oh, here's an epilogue. Stomp on it more and leave you to suffer. That was Clockwork Princess. If you take anything from this video, just take the advice of be prepared for the epilogue. Prepare yourself mentally and emotionally. The last one is Fourth Wing. It was only for one scene and one particular moment because it involved a very loved character, and it was just, I cried. And I won't tell you why. I won't tell you if it's sad or happy or anything, but I cried. Most beautiful book you've bought this year so far. For beautiful, I took it into different meanings, like beautiful as in the cover of the books are beautiful, or beautiful as in beautifully written. I will say the beautiful covers, as well as beautifully written, is Magnolia Park's universe. The covers are beautiful. The indie covers are gorgeous. It's a work of art. Like, you can put these up in frames and it would be gorgeous. All of these have very like little details of each book in the cover, and it's just so good. Everything ties in together. It's so fun. They're so pretty to look at. I love them. I'm really sad that Jessa Hastings is changing the covers of her books, but hopefully they still release the indie covers because I do not want the new covers. And then for mainly being beautifully written content is the Clockwork series. The book has so many quotes. Like, I want to reread those books just so I can annotate it and I can flip back to the specific scenes or quotes. There is so much love and admiration and just comfort in these characters, in this world, their universe, and their their life that like it is so beautifully written. There are so many quotes that are just so good. You know that trend where it's like, oh, he says I love you, but Will Herondale says blah 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 blah. Something really dramatic and just beautifully written. That is the entirety of the Clockwork series. So I want to put that as the most beautiful series I bought this year. Last question before the camera dies is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And that is very easy to answer because I need to read the Crescent City books. The third book comes out early next year and I need to finish the first two because when that third one comes out, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna have to read it. I can't put it down anymore. People are going crazy about the release of the third book because apparently something crazy happened in the end of the second one that I need to get on board. I'm feeling FOMO. And the other one is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I've been wanting to read the series for the longest time and the third one comes out this year. So I really, really want to make sure that I read the first two by the time the third one comes out. So technically, yeah, I want to be able to read that series by the end of this year. Those are all the questions for the mid-year tag. I will put the questions in the description if you guys want to answer them for yourselves. I thought this was a lot of fun. I really like the idea of going through what I read so far this year and kind of just reflect on how I felt about these books and what books I'm really excited for. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys and stressing out about these sad books. But yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!